Hello and welcome to VikingMtG Talkr. I am Steven, your host, and this time I have a few thoughts on the newest spoiled cards from Wizards. Now, this topic has been already the talk of a lot of people for the last weeks, and we saw a few, unofficial leaks going on, and I was not quite sold on those when I first saw them. I even have a small discussion on my blog. I didn't decide to make a video out of this discussion because, it was already a little bit late, but this one is, pretty new. So, what we will do is, see what I think a little bit about True Colorless, now that we have it. I just had a little talk with the guy on the card shop, and he was not very sure about it, and let me preface this with a basic sentence. I hate this True Colorless thing. Although I love this game, and I will try to see all the discussion here from the point of view of the glass half full. This means that I won't be bashing anything, or not too much, and just trying to see how much we can see. So first we will see what discussion we have here, and finally I will give a few thoughts on how I think this will change Magic in itself. So, True Colorless. Yes, so it is official. 11th of December 2015, almost at 11 PM. The two official basic lands have been spoiled. This is the two Wastes, with beautiful, beautiful art, by the way. I'm not against the art that they have here. I do think it's pretty nice thing. They look just wonderful. I don't know what else to say to that, no? Now, this is a sixth color for me, at least, because I know it's not a sixth color, but it feels like a sixth color. So it's a sixth basic land. So, yes, for us deck builders, be prepared to not only include your 5 basic lands, but sometimes to consider a Wastes land, at least for Out of the Gate Watch. Now, how does this affect a little bit the game? Well, here we have Kozilek, the Great Distortion, who already costs these 2 diamond mana. True Colorless Mana or Wastes Mana. I have heard that many people have gone for Wastes instead of green, red, black. No, gray. This could be always an option. No. So here we have this one. What I like especially about the use of this True Colorless Mana is that we now can efficiently cast colorless spells. This is more important a little bit further on, because we will do a contrast in a moment. Anyway, what we have here is now something that will require something else so you can be able to cast it. No? Before, our colorless spells were all the same. No, you had 10 mana and you could pay in any color. This way, you force the people to try to think about another color. Okay, not bad until now, no? Now, the biggest issue that I've heard the guy from the card shop say was that he was not quite sure how it would work with artifacts, because they would have to rewrite artifacts, they would have to do a lot of errata. Yes, there will be a lot of errata. I'm very sure about this. Something else we'll discuss in a few minutes. But I am pretty sure that Wizards will not errata the old cards, at least the true colorless cards that we have. No, so Karn fanboys, those who like to play Tron, guys who like the Eldrazi, you won't see any Eldrazi suddenly turning into a casting cost. Like, let's say Ulamog. The new Ulamog, instead of 10, will cost now, I don't know, 7 diamond? Well, no, I don't think it will happen, no? They already did that on these, and I don't think those are erratable, if this is a word. So, anyway, also, he was thinking about the artifacts. Now, artifacts, and here's where my point of discussion is. If this is going to happen beyond Out of the Gate Watch, then I don't think it will affect artifact casting costs at all. I mean, I have as an example here the Yalum Tome, or Yalum, or Yalum, or however you want to pronounce it. No, this costs 3 colorless mana. Now, something we have to pay attention to is that the idea of the artifact is that you can cast it with any mana. You don't care about any mana at all. While colorless is a world in itself, like I said, the 6th color. So what could happen here is that we have that the artifacts will still remain in this generic mana casting cost, while the other colorless cards will now finally be set to be totally colorless. So you cannot just cast it with green, red, blue, and white, as we always have done. While the artifacts will still remain like part of this, well, this whole thing where you can share the artifacts between the colors, so you can get some abilities that you couldn't get on your color. I don't think they will change that very much or at all, if I'm going to say that. No, maybe there will come in the future a card, if this goes beyond Oath, where you will see I don't know, an artifact that costs 2 generic, 1 diamond. I mean, it's like Master of Ethereum that costs 2 generic, 1 blue, and still it is an artifact. But I don't think this will be like the main focus of development in the future if this happens. Again, this is mostly speculation what I'm doing here. So I think this is a great way to differentiate colorless from artifacts, because colorless is not the same as artifacts. No, they are both colorless in themselves. That's true, and this is where it will not be a 6th color in this sense. If you can counter a colorless spell, well, you can counter Kozilek and an artifact. If you can counter a colored spell, well, you can't counter Kozilek and you can't counter an artifact. So I do think it will remain like more or less the same. Now, where it is a 6th color is because there will be an identity to colorless now, and a very important identity that you cannot share, or you should not be able to share, amongst the different colors. This is, you will have to include the 6th basic land or other stuff. For example, here we have a Yavimaya Coast. The Yavimaya Coast has an interesting type line here. No, add 1 colorless to your mana pool. This is a true colorless mana. No, and the other one has, well, green and blue. Maro on his Tumblr already discussed that a little bit and makes a big differentiation between colorless mana and a generic mana, and this is a very important difference to make this new mana work at all. So what we have here is we could, and I have seen some unofficial spoilers on this, or unofficial leaks on this, and now that we know that the colorless mana is official, I do think that they will do it, is that they just put, instead of 1, they will put a little diamond in there. So you have a true colorless mana. This way, cards like Yavimaya Coast, the filter lands, and many other lands that generate colorless mana suddenly become a little bit more useful, because they will help you to cast your true colorless spell, differentiating still the color from the colorless. So it sounds like pretty nice, no? And this way, well, you can insert this quote-unquote 6th color without without affecting too much everything that has been done the last 20 years. Well, 22 already. Anyway, this would affect many other things. For example, one of the most popular artifacts that we have is Soul Ring. We have here add 2 colorless to your mana pool. If they're going to errata that, most probably it will say add diamond to your mana pool. No? This means that most probably, and according to that leak that I saw of the filter land, they're going to errata all these type lines, or most of the type lines, into these true colorless mana. No, it will still work for everything. I mean, you couldn't pay much with the 2 colorless mana from your Soul Ring. EDH commanders, pay attention. But you could like ramp into paying the more expensive spells, like always, and that you can do with any mana anyway. So it doesn't matter if it's a diamond or if it's a blue or it's a green. So this wouldn't affect very much the playability of this. The only thing that it would affect is that it would create, well, a possibility to include these true colorless creatures and spells. So this could be something interesting, and this is where I go to the final point, no? Because we have different ideas we have to touch. No, first, design space. The design space will open up a lot if this stays. No, instead of going for a 2 generic mana, a blue and a white for your planeswalker, you could be paying 1 colorless blue and a white. I hope the difference is noticeable here, or maybe 2 colorless, I don't care. But then you would have to consider to include these cards that could produce colorless mana, be it in the form of the basic lands, and if not, well, at least in the form of the pain lands, of the filter lands, of any other land that may produce this colorless mana. Also, that we might see in the future, and which might become popular, is fetch lands. We would have more fetch lands to try to fetch the wastes. No? Again, this is all supposing that we will have in the future more colorless cards, and wastes will become a part of it and not just a flavor of out of the gate watch. Alternate costs, well, again the same. No, you will be able to cost things a little bit different. In the case of cost select, we have an 8 diamond, which could have easily been a 12. No, this is an opinion I had a long time ago. This colorless mana would mean that it could replace around 1.5 mana of each casting cost, because you have to jump through some hoops, and this way you would have in, again, quotes, cheaper spells in colorless, but with the restriction that you have to have this diamond mana, this true colorless mana. No, and this is where we will see a lot happening if this happens. No, usefulness. Well, this is a point of contention. How can we use it? No, we have 20 years of history of Magic, in which our colorless spells, our true colorless spells, have been available for everyone, no matter what. Now, right now, if you would tell me that I should try to build a deck based on colorless, be it on Commander, be it in Modern, or even Legacy and Vintage, well, I would tell you, well, there's nothing really to play with. I mean, right now we have only one, let's say, spoiler now, which is Kozilek, and I don't know if I would consider him. I mean, most probably Tron could play him, because if they do this big errata thing, they would most probably errata the Ursulans too. So this could be something. Well, we have to see what happens. No, but for the moment, there's nothing going on. If they're going to continue this beyond the flavor reasons that could be the Battle for Zendikar block, well, then there is a big space, again, going back to the science space, and where, well, brewers could work with things that didn't work before. Right now, I do think that these colorless cards will have no impact in any other place than Standard. I even doubt that they will have a big impact in Standard, but here I may be very wrong, by the way. So this one I will concede to you if it turns out that it's very useful in Standard. Why? Well, we have a big block and a small block. How much can they put into the small block to really push the new true colorless? There's really not much. They still have to include the 3-man lands, so that's something. They still have to include at least 2 planeswalkers, so there is some design space gone, and so on and so on. And usually, what is the commons and the uncommons don't tend to be so strong. I mean, uncommons maybe more, but there will be nothing really viable with this at the moment. Now, I would like to see what happens with Shadows of the over Innistrad. How would this mana be included if it's permanent? No, there are many options. I mean, like I told you before, we have the Planeswalker that could cost in this alternate cost of diamond, blue, red, or something like that. We could include it as a second color restriction. I really don't know. So I don't see very much usefulness at this moment. We'd have to see if this goes beyond, because if this stays in Out of the Gatewatch, well guys, we can say welcome to the new Snowlands. So yes, that would be all for you today. Anyways, thanks for watching. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe, and maybe get the discussion rolling. I mean, there is a lot still that has to be spoiled. The spoilers will begin in about 2 weeks or 1 week. I don't remember what Maro said, but anyway, so we still have a lot to wait and to speculate, which is pretty fun at the end. So yes, I thank you very much for your attention, and well, have a beautiful day.